Jay here, Stretford, Paddock. This is the paper talk. As you can see, I'm outside Old Trafford as usual. It's a bit brisk, but it's not too bad. I'm warmed slightly by Manchester United's professional 1-0 win yesterday against West Ham. Much of the news this morning centres around quotes from the aftermath of that game and also looking ahead towards the AC Milan game as well. Some stories doing the rounds this morning, and they were doing them last night as well, about Harry Maguire's X-rated Aaron Wan-Bissaka rant overheard during the game. Obviously, without fans in the ground, you're able to pick up what players are saying a lot more easier. We heard it during the Crystal Palace game when Harry Maguire and Marcus Rashford had a bit of a chat, shall we say, discussion during the game. And there's a story doing the rounds about how the United skipper had a bit of a rant or a shout towards his teammate after Aaron Wan-Bissaka gave the ball away. Maguire was overheard screaming, "Effing tidy up, stop giving the effing ball away." Now, that, to me, is just part and parcel of playing football. I mean, I don't see how it's made the papers. It's our job to report what's being reported, by the way, in case you're asking why am I talking about it. But it has, and it's a bit weird, and I think Ole Gunnar Solskjær, well, I know Ole Gunnar Solskjær was asked about it, and I just think defenders and captains and teammates shout at each other all the time. A defender, and a captain especially, and a centre-back to boot, shouting at his full-back when he gives the ball away or does something sloppy is absolutely run-of-the-mill. And I'd be more concerned if it didn't happen. I'd be more concerned if my captain and my centre-back wasn't saying something when his teammate has given the ball away. Ole Gunnar Solskjær was asked about it, and he said they all needed it. So, either digging out or calming down. Maybe it was more calming down because I know the attitude was there. We wanted so much to recover from what happened on Thursday night, the draw with Milan, with a last-minute equaliser from Milan. He's gone on to tell you. And the attitude was spot on. Just calm down and trust yourself. So Ole Gunnar Solskjær wasn't overly concerned about that, and neither am I, to be honest with you. As I said earlier, I think it's part and parcel of the game and what you'd expect any Manchester United captain or Manchester United defender to do. You look at the likes of Rio Ferdinand, Gary Neville, Roy Keane, of course. They always shout at the teammates, and rightly so. That's what you do when you're playing football. So I don't know why people are sort of blowing it out of proportion a little bit. Maybe they're trying to make a story out of it and see if there's something there, some kind of needle, but there isn't. Teammates shout at each other, and long may it continue. Passion shows the care. Also, after the game, Ole Gunnar Solskjær was talking about having players back for the Milan game. He says, hope to have Edinson Cavani back, Anthony Martial available, maybe Paul Pogba and David De Gea, finished with quarantine. Not bad players, he said. I think I spoke about this after the game yesterday. It's been a bit of a funny one with Edinson Cavani because there was these stories doing the rounds, I think it was on Friday, that Edinson Cavani had been passed fit to play by Manchester United's medical staff, but it was actually himself. Edinson Cavani himself had said that he didn't feel 100%. And yesterday, before the game, there was a little bit of fuel added to that fire when speaking about who was available and the fact that Rashford was back in the team. Ole had said that he was very happy with that, Rashford being back in the team. Obviously, Anthony couldn't make it. Edinson didn't make it. So to have Marcus available is a boost. So some people looking at it and going, Anthony couldn't make it, Edinson didn't. Is that him saying that, again, it was Cavani's own decision and that he didn't feel like he was fit enough to play, and it wasn't the medical staff that didn't think that, it was the striker himself? I mean, there's two sides to look at. One, I mean, for starters, it may be nonsense. Secondly, it may be the fact that Edinson Cavani knows his own body. He's 34 years old. He knows what he can and can't do. And if you want to be sort of, harsh on him, you may say, well, he's been a bit soft because he doesn't see himself here long term and maybe he should be willing to play. I mean, we'll never sort of know the ins and outs of all that, but hopefully he can be back for the Milan game because we are a bit short and we need him, especially when you look at all the players that played yesterday. Did play the full 90. Ole Gunnar Solskjær, of course, didn't make any substitutions. Marcus Rashford and Bruno Fernandes as well looked pretty goosed at the end of the game. I think Marcus was sort of crouched down and you saw Bruno Fernandes holding his leg, so we may be even down to the sort of even more down to the bare bones against Milan on Thursday night. So hopefully Edinson Cavani can come in. Talking about Ole Gunnar Solskjær as well, the story's doing the rounds over the weekend, but I'll just recap them. That was that he's about to be rewarded with a new $9 million a year deal. I think his deal runs out in about 18 months and there's talk of him being given an extension. I was looking at this, there's varying reports. I think it might be a 2-year extension. So if his deal runs out next year, that's 2022, that'll take him up to 2024. We'll get all the confirmation of that as and when it happens. But yeah, £9 million a year deal. Apparently the club are happy with him. We know there's been a lot going on in terms of director of football, technical director, Darren Fletcher and John Murtagh being promoted within the club to those roles. So it looks like sort of Woodward or the owners are getting their house in order in terms of the management and coaching structure. You can make your own mind up whether you're happy about that. I personally am. I like the job Ole Gunnar Solskjær's doing. I think he's moving the club forward. I think, yes, there are improvements to be made, but I don't think that's just down to him. I think we need to be a little bit more active in the transfer market. But I think that Ole Gunnar Solskjær's doing a good job, and I think he deserves his contract extension. Yes, it's about winning trophies, and I want Manchester United to win trophies, but I think with Ole in charge, I think we can do. Talking of transfers, do you want an Erling Haaland transfer story? We've not had one for about 8 minutes. Do you have another? Borussia Dortmund sporting director Michael Zorc. Do you remember him? I stood here in the summer talking about him almost every day when it was Jadon Sancho, and now it's obviously Erling Haaland. He's been talking about keeping hold of Erling Haaland and saying how the club is prioritising finishing in the top 4 of the Bundesliga in order to keep Erling Haaland. I think they're obviously talking about giving him European Champions League football next season. He went on to say, I've never seen someone like him, talking of Haaland. We can search Europe wide. If he ever left us somewhere, there would only be a handful of clubs, but we'll try to keep him as long as possible for sporting reasons. We don't want to play in the Europa League on Thursdays. I know that feeling, mate. We want to give our calling card in the Champions League. So Dortmund are currently 5th in the Bundesliga. It's not very good, that, is it, in the Bundesliga? No disrespect to the German league, but come on, have a word. 2 points behind Eintracht Frankfurt, who occupy Germany's final Champions League place. So Dortmund have got a little bit to do in terms of getting Champions League football. We know that Erling Haaland, I think next summer, has the 72 million buyout clause, is it? So there's talk that maybe this summer he'll go because Dortmund can get a little bit more money for him. The likes of Manchester City, Chelsea have been linked with him. Obviously Manchester United, and Ole Gunnar Solskjær in particular, heavily linked with him, big fans of him. Tried to get him when he went to Dortmund, tried to get him when he went to Salzburg. Didn't happen, of course. Maybe we can get him this summer. It's going to be difficult, especially with these owners who are happy to sell shares and make £100 million for themselves but aren't so keen to spend money in the transfer market. There's already been mutterings that we may not be able to go big this summer, so we'll have to wait and see. In terms of transfers as well, Ole Gunnar Solskjær has been reports that he's set for some crunch talks with Ed Woodward. There's 2 stars that are on the agenda according to various reports in the papers. Anthony Martial and David De Gea are 2 players that Ole Gunnar Solskjær could be looking to move on this summer, according to reports. Anthony Martial hasn't had a great season. I think he scored 4 Premier League goals. He has suffered with injuries a little bit as well. But after the dizzy heights of, was it 23 goals last season? Hasn't really got going in the same respect this season. Has put in some good performances. Let's not forget, he was man of the match at the Etihad only last week. So it's not like he's had a terrible season. Just not a very prolific season in terms of goals and contributions. Ole Gunnar Solskjær may be looking to bring in Erling Haaland or someone else in the number 9 role. Whether Cavani stays around remains to be seen. It looks like he could be on his way. So Anthony Martial, according to reports, could be getting moved on, as well as David De Gea. He's on a big contract here, David De Gea. I think it's something like 375k a week. Dean Henderson doing bits. No, David De Gea's just had a baby, that's why he wasn't in the team yesterday, but apparently Ole Gunnar Solskjær looking to move those 2 players on, and possibly Edinson Cavani as well. There's a different reports in the paper that that Edinson Cavani, this will be his only time at United, only season, that he's not going to stick around. We've already spoken about the injury intrigue, shall we say. But even if he's put that to one side and say, you know, whether or not he has classed himself as fit, I think he's missed 6 of the last 7 games. He obviously missed games as well when he was banned. He has done quite well this season in terms of goals, but he's not been amazing. I think it's 7 goals he's got for Manchester United, so he's done well, but it's not been like he's played every game and scored loads of goals. I think he is a stopgap player, so it wouldn't surprise me if he did move on in the summer. I know a few weeks ago, or a couple of weeks ago even, there was a talk of him signing a new deal, and a lot of people were happy about that, but maybe it's one of those sort of one deal things with Edinson Cavani and Manchester United. Maybe that's for the best if we do bring in some quality, though. I think we do need to sign a striker in the summer. Hopefully, I'd love to see Erling Haaland come in, but if not him, we need someone to fill that number 9 role. Even if Anthony Martial stays, we still need options, because we saw it yesterday. We didn't have many options, and one of the reasons that we didn't make any substitutions is because on the bench, it was mainly kids that we had to bring on. Maybe he could have done that, but we didn't, and it just sort of underlines the idea that Manchester United do need to strengthen in the transfer window if we are going to compete at the top, and hopefully mount a real title challenge next season. This has been the Paper Talk. It's getting a bit cold. We're going to wrap it up there. As you'd expect, we'll be looking forward ahead towards the AC Milan game as well. Don't forget, the weekend we've got a Leicester game, so we're going to have the watch-along in the FA Cup. We're going to have the watch-alongs for both those games. Later on today, we'll have Adam McCullough and Joe Smith with the Premier League P-Tape. We'll also have the podcast as well with likes of Stephen Howson. If you're not doing, make sure you are subscribing. Don't forget as well to hit like and give us a share. Thanks for watching.